And despite Victoria's death toll growing by 24 overnight, with 149 new cases, Liberal politicians have declared open warfare on Premier Dan Andrews. A Liberal senator has told Victorians to claim compensation for the state's lockdown. Senator Sarah Henderson has put the spotlight on a little-known clause in the Public Health and Wellbeing Act. It is essentially says that Victorians can seek compensation for decisions by the Chief Health Officer. The Health Department can reject those claims, of course, but they can be appealed to the state's civil and administrative tribunal. It could potentially end up costing the taxpayers millions of dollars. Ben, as a taxpayer in Victoria, you'd end up paying for this. Is this good advice for people out there, or is this just cheap political stunt and point scoring?
Well, look, I think the issue that we have here is that I think it is a little bit of point scoring, but I think that the Liberal Party has really highlighted something and it's brought it to the attention of people like Jim's Mowing. And, now people are looking at what they can do to try and get this money. And then the people who are going to pay for it is the taxpayers in Victoria or the taxpayers in Australia. And I think people need to really not think so inwardly about who they are and what they need and what they can get, but what we can do for everybody. And I don't necessarily want to see my taxpayer dollars going to something like this.
Do you think Sarah Henderson would have brought this up if the Liberals were in power and making these decisions as far as looking after the state? Yeah, and this is what I'm sick of, Heidi. I am sick of the politics surrounding COVID-19 now. They played nice for a month or so, but now it's all-out warfare, where the Prime Minister today had to come out and say he is going to make amends with Dan Andrews because the federal government has basically been bashing him. So he's now trying to repair that relationship.
Oh, it's so tough when it comes to this because I think, even just speaking about human connections and stuff before, that's really what it's all about here, is that we're all in a lot of pain. And I was thinking about this before I came on the show to speak to you guys. We're living quite normally here in Western Australia. So for me to hear this kind of stuff is actually quite confronting because I think we're sticking our heads in the sand a little bit. And I know most of the people in Western Australia do not want the borders open. My mum in New South Wales, she's a small business owner. So I kind of go there's so many things, I'm torn for all different ways of how I feel about
It's funny you say that on the border issue though, Heidi, because here in Queensland, I get the feeling overwhelmingly people don't want the borders open because we are living a normal life as well and don't want to end up like Victoria has been in stage 4 restrictions that Ben's currently experiencing.
I know, and I get really torn, guys, because I'm a new mum and I get quite emotional about the borders because a lot of people in Western Australia are so against it because of Clive Palmer, which I totally understand. He's going about it the wrong way. But my mum and dad haven't seen their grandson since the start of the year, their very first and their only grandchild. And I think we were down south on the weekend and a lot of people were, I was meeting a lot of Western Australians and what a few people had said to me, we didn't even think about all these new mums. That it's really isolating as it is, and I can't even begin to imagine them being in Victoria what it's like. But it's so isolating as a new parent as it is. You're very much stuck in this little bubble, and then you've got that you're cut off from family and friends and everything. So I do believe there has to be a point where we do need to open it for family and friends. My parents have been rejected twice to come in. They said they'll do the hotel quarantine, everything, and it really, really is a tough time, and it actually really, really breaks my heart because I just want to see my family. And I know, like I said, that's selfishly me, but so there's so many people that we're all affected individually. So I find it really hard to judge when different things come up because my heart aches for every single person that is going through what is such a really, really shitty time.
It really is, and it's not easy, and everyone is affected one way or another. Like you, my sister had a baby this year in New South Wales, which I haven't been able to visit. It is a situation a lot of people are dealing with. But Ben can talk himself about what stage 4 restrictions are like. They're not nice, and I'm sure the rest of the country doesn't want to end up like that.
It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo Show.